This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, Olivia Wilde has been tapped to direct a Sony Marvel movie in the Spider-Verse. Tickets for the New Mutants go on sale. DC Fandome's virtual event split across 2 days now. And Matt Reeves The Batman movie trademarks their new bat symbol.
Wowie zowie!
Plus a review of Netflix's Project Power and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, August 19th, 2020.
Hey, this is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Remember, Batman's got your back.
Make sure you stretch everything out good. Here we go.
Check. Check one. All right. This is ruling fans out there. Let's give it up. We're jocking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. We're jocking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We're jocking, we nerded. We're funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm jocking, we nerded. We're spoiler alert. Give it up one time. Jocking, we nerded.
Hey, listener, what's up? How's it going? And welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we deliver comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock Human Soundboard.
He's the nerd with the weird voice.
Ah, yes, now and always. And, of course, joining us is a cat who many years ago took a pill that promised him powers, but instead made him a puppet. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What? Actually, it was a curse. So
I like to muddy up your origin story every now and then.
What do you, Marvel?
Yeah, exactly. I'm pulling a DC.
You Disney Marvel? Right
Is
now?
it a genetic mutation? Was it a pill? Was it a Romanian witch placed a curse on you?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, all of those.
Read the Bible. The bio, yeah.
The Bible?
Read the Bible.
Did you just say read the Bible?
I want to
the
read the
story
bio
of
on
Rug
the website.
Boy
I don't know why the Bible came out.
Is the book of Rugs in there after the book of Job?
I don't know.
Read the Bible.
Read the Bible.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I had a Joe Biden moment.
Anyways, who
wrong
knows how Ruggs became a felty American, but that's what he is, and we love him. Anthony, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm
Good.
Just
Good to
hanging
hear.
out, working out, doing the best I can with what I got.
That's all I guess we can hope for right now in 2020. No tornadoes this week, listener, so it's been calm. So, look, let's just dive right into the geek news. I got nothing else.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
It's kind of a weird, slow news week. I was scrambling for shit, and then this story just pops up 2 hours ago, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm throwing it in. It's going to be the lead, and it is the story that Olivia Wilde, actress and director, reportedly closed a deal to direct an untitled Marvel movie for Sony
Oh, a Spider-Verse movie.
that's believed to possibly be Spider-Woman.
Geek boner. Oh, shit.
Cool.
She's known for Tron Legacy. She has directed one movie, Booksmart, but she's currently working on a psychological thriller called Don't Worry, Darling, starring Florence Pugh, that's in Black Widow, Chris Pine, that's going to be in Wonder Woman 1984, and Shia LaBeouf, who nobody wants to be as Wolverine.
That's true.
We have already figured that out. So they're saying this mysterious Marvel project is said to be a top priority for the studio.
Well, after seeing Booksmart, I wonder what Marvel movie she's going to copy.
And oh shit, Anthony, have you seen Booksmart?
I have. I reviewed it on Corona Binge Report.
Okay, so quick, I'll just give you a
Spoiler alert.
what'd you think? What's that about?
It's female Superbad. I mean, it's well done, but it's not exactly original.
It's beat for beat the same movie.
Yeah,
She
it's the same
copied
movie.
Superbad.
But it's competently directed and it's funny, but yeah, it's not original.
I see.
Not that anything is original these days, but it is like Rugg said. You're watching the same movie.
Well, Olivia Wilde will also be writing the script with her Booksmart writing partner, Katie
not the worst
Silverman.
debut in the world.
Okay. Amy Pascal and Rachel O'Connor, of course, producers, because it's Sony. I mean, Ruggs, I'm excited for Spider-Verse stuff, and Spider-Woman, I think, deserves a movie.
I like Olivia Wilde. I think she's talented. I think that her movie was good.
I've not seen it.
It was fine, but
It's
I
on
mean,
Hulu.
you know,
It's okay.
you go for the joke because it's an obvious joke to make, but
Yeah.
like, I I think she could do a good job. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Now I'm going to watch the Booksmart if she's doing the Spider-Woman movie.
If they're doing it in the tone of like how they have Spider-Man right now, where it's high school and you're dealing with a female this time, she's probably going to be able to pull that off pretty easily.
And yeah, a female-centric superhero movie directed by a female is great.
Just copy what Disney did with Tom Holland, and she'd be okay.
That's not bad. I like seeing, Patty Jenkins starts the trend at Wonder Woman, and you have Kathy Yan, who did Birds of Prey. And
I don't know
Black
shit about
Widow.
Spider-Woman, by the way. So,
well, if it's Jessica
what's the
Drew,
character?
Yes, there's multiple Spider-Women.
I'd assume Jessica Drew. That's the name I recognize.
Jessica Drew is one. Was Gwen Stacy a Spider-Woman?
There was a red-haired one. I forgot her name off the top of my head, but there was that one. That's the one that Spider-Man stole the black costume from. By the way, it was
That's
her
right.
costume
Jessica
first.
Drew in Secret Wars on the alien planet.
Was it Jessica Drew?
Oh, maybe not. Was
No,
there another
was it?
Spider-Woman?
Come on, dude.
Let's see. No, the original Spider-Woman is Jessica Drew, and the second Spider-Woman is Julia Carpenter. It was Jessica Drew who had the black costume first, and he saw it, and he thought about it, and the machine replicated it, but it was a symbiote.
I pulled it up just so Jessica Drew. In terms of Marvel canon, Jessica Drew, Julia Carpenter, Maddie Franklin, I don't know who that is.
Oh, that must be a newer one.
Charlotte Witter, and then Varanki, one of the Skrulls. Those are the canon ones. And then other versions, alternate universes, Helen Goddard, Mary Jane Watson, Ashley Barton, Gwen Stacy, Mayday Parker.
Yeah, oh, okay.
A bunch of other fucks.
And Mayday Parker is their kid, Peter.
That's way too many people with the moniker of Spider-Man.
Well, just like all things Spider-Man, it's convoluted and confusing. And yes, there's been a dozen of them, but original Jessica Drew dating back to 1977 Spider-Woman. So that's when she first debuted.
Well, yeah, she's the one that's kind of like had the longest run with it. She's the most iconic one. People who say Spider-Woman, you say Jessica Drew, right?
Yeah.
So.
But they could also just put someone new. I would hope they would use the character. My only problem with this is that it's Sony.
Yeah, that's my only problem with it as well.
I don't know how, Venom's great.
Well,
what do they do?
Do you think they're going to try and do something to shake it up, or are they going to try and stick to something that's recognizable?
Well, you're leaning into like half of a known IP here. You got a spider and the word man, and now you're adding woman. So I don't know how many people do you have to use Tom Holland to suck people in? Can you sell this on its own? I don't know. I think done right with the high school vibe and a bunch of different people, this could be a lot of fun. I got to see Booksmart.
I think it's a bad idea to do.
Okay.
I think it's a bad idea to do a high school movie.
Yes, because they already did that with the Peter Parker.
I think that because Jessica Drew is more of like a spy and kind of like she's kind of like, I think she's British, isn't she?
Is she? No. Get out of here.
She is. Let's see.
I don't.
I remember seeing some kind of a Marvel comic.
You could hear the accent when you read it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I saw like some kind of
British
they had those like motion comics like a while back, and I believe it was a British voice.
You're right. She was born in London.
Oh, shit.
See, I never knew that because you don't hear her when you read the fucking comic book. But she was probably British in some cartoons, and I forgot. All right. Well, this article also says that...
So her origin, I guess she was sick, and her dad injected her with the serum.
And they gave her the powers.
Right.
Where did the serum come from?
I don't know.
Initially, there was no... it's one of those things where there's no tie to, like, Spider-Man. Like, it just happens to be
her own thing.
Another whole separate thing,
They should have just done Silk, but,
that character's out there. I think that character will see the screen,
Maybe people are confusing. Maybe they should do Silk. That makes a lot of sense because it's a different story that's tied into Spider-Man that is kind of part of his own origin, and they can use that to tell the origin story.
It's a crazy retcon of his origin, yes.
So you can get Tom Holland in there.
Anthony, you know the story of this girl Silk?
No, I don't.
So you know how Peter Parker was at went to the radiation demonstration and the spider bit him and he got the powers? Well, the spider actually, he turns out, didn't die, and bit another girl.
Was that the new character?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that girl was like put into a tomb by Ezekiel for like 20 years or something and grew up like in a box or some fucking crazy shit. but they're hypersexually attracted to each other, which I thought was funny. Anyways, Deadline's report about this also says Sony is still working on a Madam Web movie and a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Look,
I think that Silk is probably the best way to go about it, because they could use it to do a backdoor origin story for Peter Parker.
Because we've never seen the Tom Holland origin, actually.
No, you haven't. And this is a perfect place because you're telling her story at the same time. So you backdoor that.
Yeah.
And then not only that, you have an Asian Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, Peter Parker didn't get found out. He was able to become Spider-Man, but she ended up maybe getting swept up by the military-industrial complex in a lab somewhere.
Right, and she's been tucked away.
Maybe she's got a whole different way about doing things.
I'll buy that, and she's broken out all of a sudden, and he realizes, like, this girl is also, he's attracted to her or something. They share a thing. That's interesting.
That could be cool. And it fucks up his whole thing with MJ and the instant intrigue.
Well, they got to resolve his whole, everybody knows who he is right now at the end of that fucking movie, so if any of these movies ever get made, if things start up again, we'll see.
Right.
But I'm excited. Look, Morbius is done somewhere. Maybe that'll come out. If you're going to expand the Sony Spider-Verse, use the Spider-Women. There's tons of great characters. Listener, let us know what you think. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It is closed, exclusive. It's a safe place to geek and nerd out. Even the jocks jock out. It's a safe place to jock out amongst geeks and nerds.
Yeah, you can scratch your balls there.
You can scratch your balls.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. And now, here is a message for you, listener, from the Ginger Geek himself.
Hello, Jock and Nerd listeners. It is your resident Ginger Geek, Matt Delhauer, here to remind you that the 5-year anniversary of What the Fuck Happened is quickly approaching. To celebrate what is obviously the most important event for this podcast ever, we want you, the listeners, to have a say in what movie we cover. Hell, if it wasn't for all of you, there wouldn't have even been an episode 2, let alone 15. So, throughout the month of August, we are taking your suggestions over on Twitter. Tweet the movie you want us to cover to @JockandNerdCast. And be sure to use the hashtag JANWTF5. Yes, it's longer than it should be. While you're at it, let us know what your favorite episode of What the Fuck Happened has been so far. Share your favorite memories from the series, your favorite jokes, or send us fan art, whatever you want. Feed our egos. All right, now back to whatever the fuck Imran's doing.
Send in your submissions for the next What the Fuck. We're still collecting them. You guys, bigger news. Just yesterday, Delhauer released a new episode of his Ginger Geek podcast.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Yes, it is on Spotify. It's episode 8, I think. The title of it is Philosophizing Bill and Ted. I have not listened to it yet, but the Bill and Ted.
Listen to that. That sounds awesome.
It's on Spotify. Link in the show notes. Bill and Ted movie's coming out, so he loves those movies. Good for you, Delhauer, putting out content. We will shortly hear from him next month when we get to What the Fuck 15. I can't wait.
Geek Boner.
You guys, the New Mutants tickets are on sale. Did you get yours yet?
Oh, shit.
I did not.
No, you haven't bought them? So here's the thing. We're recording a week early this week, so we're...
A week early?
A day early. I always do that. I always get weeks and days. I have no concept of time anymore. I've been in this quarantine. We're recording a day early, so we're going to miss out on a couple of things, but we will report on them next week. One of them being the great experiment of AMC is opening tomorrow as we record, Thursday, August 20th. So by the time the show posts, the theaters will have opened, and the New Mutants still coming out August 28th.
Get the fuck out of here.
And if you click the link, I was looking at my local Fandango, the local theaters in the area. Couple of interesting things to note. Tomorrow, you can buy tickets for like 16 cents. And some of the movie times are full. They are blocking out 30%. So, okay. First,
blocking out 30%.
Sorry, 70%. They're only going to have 30%. First of all, the AMC by me is showing Bloodshot, which is on cable.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if you can risk getting COVID for Bloodshot, but all 3 of the 4 showings are full. You can't buy tickets for them. And if you go and you choose a seat, you'll see that every row.
Where is this at?
On Fandango, like where you would go to buy tickets.
But where?
At Village Crossing, AMC in Skokie, which is the one I go to. But they're showing Bloodshot, Sonic the Hedgehog, Black Panther, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Back to the Future, and The Goonies. And then, if you go...
For 16 cents, huh?
For 16 cents, all just on Thursday, August 20th. On Friday, the actual first movies coming out, there's 3 new movies. And actually... I kind of want to see this movie, but I'm not risking going. The Train to Busan sequel, Peninsula, is coming out on this Friday. And then there's a Russell Crowe movie called Unhinged. That's going to be the first movie. We'll see what happens. I've seen people posting they're buying tickets for New Mutants. What do you guys think? You ready? Are we... I'm not
doing it.
No.
Yeah, no,
I'm not doing it. And this isn't... I mean, again, I remember saying that I would go to a theater. I'm kind of pulling back on that, but the New Mutants is not the movie that would entice me to come out.
I think now, a day away from AMC opening, 10 days away from New Mutants actually still promising to come out, I think this is all a little bit too early. Movie theaters...
I guarantee you by the time it's middle of September, everything's going to be shut down like crazy.
I think you're right, Ruggs. I think we're going to see this open for a little bit, and then they may have to shut back down, because really that's the last fucking kind of place that should be opening. However, gyms are open. Is that any less risky than going to a movie theater?
Probably. But the only thing is that you have access to like washing your hands at least there.
Yeah, that's the thing about I don't know what's worse, but at least for a gym, you're moving around. You're not staying in one spot. You know, you are breathing heavy,
you're
but
sweating all over the place.
Well, I don't think sweat is how it's. There's enough out there that I think it's.
Are you wearing a mask working out?
Let me finish.
Okay.
At least I don't think it's proven. There's nothing that sweat is how it's transmitted. It's it's a respiratory disease. Number one. Number two, you're probably not wearing a mask, but you're moving around a lot. Whereas in a movie theater, you're just stagnant for an hour and a half to 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're just sitting there breathing. So let's say someone has it and they're breathing, they're sitting in that chair and the air's blowing up. It's going to get to you. You're not moving.
And even with the mask, it may be coming out, but yes, you're right. The air, if it's not properly circulated. And then,
so, I mean, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. They're both not great.
Is one less riskier? Is one more essential? I mean, if you're going to buy concessions, which maybe they shouldn't have concessions when it first opens, you're lifting your mask up to eat. So there, every time there's your risk, right? So I don't know. I feel like both, but it's just inconsistent how these things think they can open up,
I think they're both a bad idea, and I'm not going to do either of those. I could do both of these things at home. I could watch a movie at home.
That's it.
And I can work out at home.
You can absolutely do both of those things at home.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
If Tenet does make it out to a theater, I would highly consider seeing it.
On September 4th, Labor Day, like right when it comes out?
I don't know if it's going to make it.
So
if it does,
in defense of gyms,
I'd consider going. I would first go on Fandango and see what the crowd
setup
looks
is.
like.
Okay.
Not even the setup. Is it sold out? Like I try to go on like a Tuesday.
Yeah. Let me look at. I feel like these may be sold out quick because first of all, it's 30%.
There's nothing going on.
There's 30% and there's nothing going on, and people are going to do it. So the New Mutants at where I'm at is there's still showings, but are people buying tickets? In defense of gyms, though, is physical health makes it more essential. Like movies are for mental health. It is leisure activity, but mental health. Gyms, physical health, you got to take care of yourself. I don't know. But both of those things.
As Joe Rogan puts it, I don't know if you still listen to him.
I haven't in a while, but I do.
His whole thing is, well, everyone's telling you things not to do.
Yeah.
Why aren't we telling people things to do to boost their immune system? Like work out, take vitamins, do these things. Everything's like, be afraid, stay home.
Yeah, instead of yes. So,
right? Like instead of being proactive, okay, like here are the things we can do to, not to make this a COVID talk, but here are the things we can do to help you if you were to get this disease, rather than avoid this disease at all costs because you were just afraid.
I do agree that that's not being promoted enough, and you're absolutely right. It's stuff you could take to help your immune system and just stay healthy in general.
There's a lot of studies that are like the people that have very serious COVID complications are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah. And so that's scary for me because I have vitiligo, which is an autoimmune disorder.
Oh, you do?
And also means I can't go into the sun to get vitamin D, and I really should be supplementing vitamin D, and I have a bottle of it, and I haven't been taking it because I'm an idiot. But that is something that could help. So I just looked up one theater for New Mutants. In this whole theater, there's only 16 seats. There's 8 pairs of 2 seats available in the whole theater, and it's a small theater. But there's only 16 seats for this one showing. So.
16 seats?
16, yes.
16, 1-6.
1-6.
Well, no wonder it's sold out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get 16 people on a Wednesday to come out to a movie.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, I don't know. Hopefully they release this thing on streaming like after the weekend when it comes out. Other thing we're going to miss talking about, and we'll have all the news next week on the show, listener, is DC's Fandome, which will have already occurred when this show posts. It's the 24-hour virtual event. Take place August 22nd, a Saturday. What we can tell you is they announced today is that they had so much content, they are splitting this, and they've added another day. There will be another session on Saturday, September 12th.
Geek Boner.
So the one that just happened will be the one. Everyone will already see this, so this is stupid. I'm telling you in the past now, all the movie stuff, the Hall of Heroes will be done on this Saturday. So the Batman, you get a first look at the Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Justice League. And then September 14th or 12th, they're going to do the other worlds. They have like these hubs like Watchverse, Uverse, Insiderverse. So that will be more of the TV stuff, the CW shows and HBO Max properties, probably and more comic book panels. But what's interesting is unlike San Diego Comic-Con, have you guys seen the commercials for this on TV? They're on a lot now.
Oh, shit.
They're actually promoting this on like major network television.
I have not seen any ads, actually.
Dude, I've
seen 0.
Really? I've seen it like 6 times, the fucking commercial.
You watch a lot of TV, though.
Or DC. But yeah, even on like when you're flipping through CNN, it was on CNN. It's on.
Who's watching commercials these days?
Sometimes, look.
You're like 75 years old.
America's Got Talent was the final round, and it was live. It was live. I had to watch it live because it was on, and I needed to see these performances so I could see
even when something's live, like when I'm watching basketball or football, if a commercial happens, I'm like, going to the bathroom, looking at my phone. I don't look at commercials at all.
Well, this one got me because it was about DC Fandome. I was like, oh, shit. They're actually fucking promoting the show. I feel like it's going to be really good. That guest list is crazy. I'm going to stop talking about it because it has already happened. So next week, I can't wait to talk about all the news. What we can talk about is something you're probably going to see is maybe a teaser, a trailer for Matt Reeves, The Batman. But they've already, DC has trademarked their new bat symbol, you guys. So if you click the link for the listener, it'll be the artwork in your podcast app. They've trademarked the new bat symbol. You know how every movie has a new one, every one they redesign it over the years. This one is very, very angular. What do you think? It's very simple.
It's. I think it's almost a little. There's almost too many angles on it.
Well, it's made to simulate the bat emblem on his chest that we think is going to be gun parts of the gun that Joe Chill used. I could probably
get used to it, but it's not as like streamlined as the other.
I just think it's going to be hard to draw.
Yeah, it's all just straight lines.
It's like there's too many little little things. It's not like a simple arcing circles like that.
I don't know if I like the ears too. They're a little fat, but they got to make a new one for every fucking movie.
I think the silhouette's fun. I just think it's going to be hard to draw.
You're going to see it on all the promo materials and merchandise. My favorite really still is the Batman 89 with the curved, the yellow background, the nice round edges and the swoopy endpoints. I fucking love that.
It's because you like the songs so much.
I do love the Prince soundtrack.
You can sing the entire soundtrack.
Party Man, The Future, Vicky Waiting, the Bat Dance. They're all dope. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
I mean, this is a drastic departure from Snyder's, right? Wasn't his like super fat?
His was super fat and more stout, and this is kind of all metallic, like tech looking. Yeah. And it has no point at the bottom. I don't know.
I think it's all straight lines.
Yeah, it is. It's made out of, so it's someone like if you work in Illustrator or Photoshop, you kind of know how easy it would be to just click your path, straight lines. They just fall down. Like you could make this in 2 seconds. Just do half of it and you copy and paste mirror the other side. I don't know. It seems a little bit unimaginative, but I get it. I get it.
It's fine. It's like, it's not my favorite.
Yeah. So the Batman, Matt Reeves The Batman, apparently to resume filming next month in the UK. Let's see, they started production. They did it a few weeks. I think they got a month left. They've been building sets, and I've seen some rumors on the Twitter. You know how that is. Take us with a grain of salt, but people saying it could be R-rated.
Oh, shit.
Because of the success of the Joker. What do you think? I think maybe lean in, give us an R-rated Batman. That's a huge risk with their Batman IP.
I don't know. I mean, they're leaving a lot of money on the table to do that, but I would love it.
I would fucking love a R-rated Batman, man.
I don't think they're going to do it, but I would love it.
Yeah, I think an R-rated film, it's kind of been proven that an R-rated film can make a decent amount of money, if not just as much.
Yeah.
If it's the right film. I'd be down just to see. R-rated doesn't mean I want to see Batman killing people.
No, of course not.
But I wouldn't mind seeing him break arms and like bust kneecaps.
A little more tooth, a little more edge, man.
And have the villains just have a little bit more tooth.
Just how
Batman he drops into the roof of a strip club.
There's titties everywhere. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I like this movie already.
If you're going to make it R-rated, let's do it.
I mean, that's what would happen. But look at Logan. Remember Logan came out and you finally saw blood and just gore and you were like, yes, that's what it would look like. Finally,
right.
Thank you for showing this to me.
The bad guy could be more lethal.
Yeah. Logan also, it was ridiculous. He had claws.
Yes, this is more. But yeah, you can.
And with no blood and anything.
So look, the Joker was successful for them. Birds of Prey, not so much. I will say it's on HBO Max now. I watched it again yesterday. I've kind of enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Like I almost enjoyed it better than the first time. Yeah, it's a fun movie. The action is not bad. Actually, they sit on it. They don't cut away. It wasn't bad.
Birds of Prey for me is a movie that you watch and I forgot about it.
Well, that's why I watched it again. I was like, I forgot what happened. But they had the sandwich thing. It's a fun movie. It's actually a fun rewatch precisely for that reason. You forget it. You're like, oh yeah, this is great.
I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's there.
Bad. It was fun. Listener, don't be like Batman. Wear your mask on your mouth and save the world like real superhero, like Spider-Man. If you need masks, we have some.
I was thinking about that thing with Superman wearing the mask.
Yes, CW.
Why is he wearing a mask? He doesn't get sick, and he probably doesn't get the virus either.
He's not human. He is alien. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But he's trying to be a good role model.
Lame.
It's not lame rugs.
I guess he's just wearing it just as a superficial thing. He's
wearing
not actually
it
helping anyone.
A gesture.
He's just showing people that it's okay to wear a mask.
However, the Rona may be so smart that it could mutate and affect Kryptonians.
Oh, shit.
Well, we don't know. It's possible. It's possible Luthor get his hands on it, mutate it, and it takes down Superman with a severe fever. The point is, you don't want to get the Rona, listener. You need a mask. We have them. Visit our store, our TeePublic site, jockandnerd.com/shop. You can buy a bunch of designs, all in 2 versions of masks. And people love them. Just ask around. People love them. It's true. Speaking of Batman, here's a story from a month ago that I kept forgetting to mention. And it's that Batman they're making a spin-off show based off Matt Reeves' Robert Pattinson Batman movie for HBO Max that's going to focus on the Gotham City Police Department.
Geek boner.
So it's Gotham?
Gotham Central. Well, this one got me excited because this was supposed to be what I thought Gotham was going to be and wasn't. Like Gotham Central, that awesome comic book series where it's it's all about the police force and Batman's kind of in the background. But I think it's interesting. It's set in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, which will this be its own little Batman multiverse inside of all the other multiverses?
I don't know. I think it's a risky move, but you can do it.
So it's going to be like Gotham?
It's going to be more like Gotham Central.
They made an Alfred show that nobody even fucking watched.
You know what? Pennywise, it wasn't bad. It was like a good like British spy show.
They made a Gotham that people watch, but it was total shit.
Pennyworth. That just didn't need to be Alfred. It didn't need to be about Alfred, that show, Pennyworth. It was a fine period spy show. I don't know why they shoehorned it, but then will Matt Reeves, HBO Max is coming out with Dark Knight, the Justice League Dark. They're doing Green Lantern, and now they're going to do Batman.
I just said do a
Central.
fucking Batman show. Just do it.
On HBO Max. That's where you could do, just like Sheila Buff said.
Just do
it. Look, HBO Max has got some good shit. So
don't let your dreams be dreams.
All that restructuring we talked about last year, the massive layoffs, they're focusing on streaming more and putting their IPs on there. And I still feel bad for those people. Last thing in the news, they put out the list of highest paid actors of 2020. You guys, you want to take a look at probably some overpaid people here a little bit. I mean, they're great. They're great. Celebrities are great, right? We love them.
Yeah.
No? Possibly.
All
right. Well,
someone's got to do it. Yeah.
Let's start at number 10. Top 10 highest paid celebrity of 2020. Jackie Chan.
Whoa.
Earning $40 million.
What's the last movie that he made?
I don't even know what he's in.
He had endorsements and licensing deals in 5 movies in the past year. What?
Oh, shit.
What?
He's had 5 movies. Probably all just came out in China.
I've never heard of any of these movies.
Somebody look that up. That's crazy. So Jackie Chan he had, there was that one movie that I wanted to see.
I'm looking it up right now.
It was like a fantasy movie. Yeah, what's Jackie Chan doing? Why is he worth $40 million?
It's a lot of dough. All right, so the last movies he made.
This is a mystery.
He did movies that we've never heard of.
Yeah.
The Climbers, Vanguard, Goodnight Beijing.
Journey to China, The Mystery of Iron Mask.
Bleeding Steel.
The Foreigner. That's the one. But that's from 2017.
That's a long time ago.
2019. He did those.
Rush Hour 4 is rumored. He didn't even do that yet.
Okay, Jackie Chan. Good for you. Number 9, Adam Sandler, earning $41 million. His Uncut Gems came out. Didn't earn him a lot of money, but he's been successful on Netflix, signing his 4-picture deal for $250 million in 2014. And he had a movie Murder Mystery that was popular. I watched that. It was all right. It was pretty good. Number 8, Will Smith, earning $44.5 million. Some of this coming from his...
He had a movie that didn't do well, but I guess he got paid up front. So.
He has a Snapchat series that's paying well, apparently.
Snapchat? What's that?
Yeah, it's a thing. Kids do.
Oh.
Anthony still on the TikTok?
Is Trump going to take that down?
Yeah, is it banned yet?
I don't know. I don't really go on it anymore. I heard he wanted to take it down.
He said one day, I'm banning this tomorrow, but that never happened. So, whatever. Microsoft wants to buy it. So he's like, let me get a cut of that, and you could buy it. As long as, I don't know. Number 7, Lin-Manuel Miranda, $45.5 million. Much of this comes from Disney buying the rights to Hamilton, putting it on Disney+.
I don't know who that is.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, the Hamilton guy.
Is he an actor?
He is the guy who wrote it and is in it and stars in it and directed it. Hamilton.
Cool. Right, Hamilton.
He's on an HBO show, too, that nobody watches.
Big Hamilton guy here.
Number 6, what are we at 6? Akshay Kumar.
Don't know who that is.
He is a Bollywood star who has earned $48.5 million last year from endorsement deals, and he has an Amazon Prime series called The End. He was also on last year's list. God damn,
shit.
These Bollywood stars are cleaning up. 2-time highest paid. Number 5, Vin Diesel, $54 million.
Okay, that's Fast and Furious.
He got a Fast and Furious payday for producing the Netflix series Fast and Furious Spy Racers.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't even know that this was coming out.
I didn't know that's coming out either. Number 4, Ben Affleck, which is crazy. $55 million. He had a movie called The Way Back, which I watched. It's really depressing, but nobody really saw that. So I don't know. He had a Netflix movie, The Last Thing He Wanted. Number 3, Mark Wahlberg at $58 million. He made this, producing the series McMillions and Wall Street, and he had and Spencer Confidential on Netflix. That McMillions documentary on HBO is pretty good. Did you guys hear about that?
That's the McDonald's thing where they won the lottery or something.
The fucking mob gamed the McDonald's Millions game and took all the money. Nobody won anything in that game because the mob had all the pieces. It's pretty fascinating.
It's
very good.
Seen that.
Number 2, motherfucking Ryan Reynolds. Old Deadpool himself at $71.5 million. He made $20 million for 6 Underground and Red Notice, another Netflix film.
Netflix is just throwing money.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit.
He also, though,
they don't have money to spend, and they're just giving it all away.
Oh, we'll talk about a Netflix show later where literally they're like, I have this idea. And they're like, okay, here's a bunch of money. Go make it. Have you seen those gin commercials? Apparently, he's made more money this year off that gin than making movies. That's what I heard.
Oh, shit.
Like he's made more than $70 million in his fucking gin. So I don't know if anybody's tried the Deadpool gin. And number first, again, I think Dwayne The Rock Johnson, $87.5 million.
That's not surprising.
So there's a movie called Netflix called Red Notice with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. I don't know when this is coming out. Forbes reports it was worth $23.5 million for him. He's still successful Under Armour sponsorship, and then he's going to be Black Adam. So fucking Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, he's a megastar for sure.
Dwayne Johnson at the top. You know who else is a megastar, Anthony?
Manscaped?
Our balls.
My balls was hot.
Listen, there's a heat wave out there in the south and west. And in times like this, if you're out there with untrimmed balls, it's not going to make your comfortability any better. Right, guys? What do you think? It's hot. You need to trim your balls.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want swampy. You don't want your nutsack looking like a Swamp Thing. So
no, you should read Swamp Thing and watch the TV show, but not be Swamp Thing. You could use products from our awesome sponsor, Manscaped, and they make the finest grooming tools you've ever seen. Right now, get 20% off free shipping on any order at manscaped.com. Pick up the Perfect Package 3.0. It comes with everything you need. It's got the lawnmower trimmer. It's got boxer shorts. It's got a travel bag. It's got ball deodorant, ball reviver. It makes a wonderful treat for yourself or for someone special. Shave your balls. Your balls will thank you. With the code Jock and Nerd at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping. With that, we're going to take a quick break and come back and review a new Netflix movie right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs, It Comes at Night, and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is the Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week, we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before it, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
Do you like Florida Man? Do you like crazy shit? Do you like titties and strip clubs? Why are you laughing?
Because I do. You know I do. This is the show for you. We're the hashtag No Offense Show.
I'm the Duchess.
That's the Duchess. That's my lovely wife. My name is Chris, and we talk about all that stuff in addition to our daily lives as parents, what we're watching on TV, current events, anything that we could try to talk about to make you laugh. Look for us on the web at htnos.com. All the socials at htnos, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
We're available everywhere.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show, do us a favor, join up for our awesome fan club at Patreon. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
It's kind of a cool, exclusive fan club group where you can support the show and you get stuff based on the tier you choose. Everybody gets a bonus RSS feed with bonus content, early access to the shows, Corona binge reports, post shows, pre-shows. Quiet this week, Anthony. You've been busy. Haven't had a chance.
This week, yeah, because I'm trying to catch up on Umbrella Academy.
Okay, we'll get good.
No time for other movies.
No, that's fine. I appreciate that. Can I give you an assignment?
No.
God damn. Well, it's just this new Bill and Ted's movie is coming out. I would love to watch it and review it, but you kind of need to watch the first two. But I don't know if you're going to like them. The first one's really good. Ruggs, what do you think?
It's a product of its time. I enjoy it. I love it. I love both of those movies, but that's because I grew up with them. So I have like skewed view of them.
I mean, it's dated.
But they're still fun. They're fun, stupid movies.
I think the first one is still really good. Yeah. It's got a lot of heart and charm.
I watched it like a few years ago.
I'm going to watch them again. So anyways, this is my, if I don't know, you don't have to do it.
But you should tease what we're going to probably do in the fan club. So,
you want to tease it, Ruggs? Go ahead.
Just a quick tease. I came upon a box.
Sexy time.
Came upon a box of old
What's
tapes.
in the box?
It's tapes of Imran and I from how long ago? 25 years ago?
So you're talking, for the millennials, you're talking audio cassette tapes that needed a specific cassette player.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the birth of Rug Boy. Stupid songs we did in college, on college radio, 25 years ago, listener.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're going to put them up on the fan club, on our Patreon, so you guys can check it out and see the origin, my origin story.
It's kind of is. Expect some bonus episodes, but we'll play the song and comment on them, and they're really bad and hilarious, and some of them are still funny. That's going to be a lot of fun. Join for that right now, jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
Play it again, just in case you forgot what show you're listening to. It's the Jock and Nerd podcast. I can't wait to do that, Ruggs. Let's move on to our movie review this week. It's a new movie. Yes, they still make and release those on streaming platforms like Netflix. It is another Netflix big budget blockbuster action movie called Project Power. Here is your spoilers.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
The first thing I think of is that song, I've Got the Power.
Well, okay, so from Snap, I thought of I've Got the Power. You've got Fight the Power from Public Enemy.
What about Kanye?
Oh, no one man should have all that power. That's another song I thought of. All of those songs I thought of, yes.
And none of them were on the soundtrack.
None of them were used at all. Big miss.
What?
That was kind of a big miss there. Project Power. You should have used at least Public Enemy. Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is at 60%. 5.6 out of 10 average rating. Audience score, only 54%. Actually lower than the critics score. The budget of this movie was $85 million.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Yeah, you're seeing some of that money on the screen for sure. Project Power, directed by Ariel Schulman and Henry Joost, who
what have they done?
They have done a movie. I believe they did a movie called Catfish that spawned the show Catfish.
Oh, well, yeah. I think we talked about this last time.
Did we? Yes, we did.
We did, yeah.
That I remember watching that movie, and it was the way it was presented. Like, you didn't know. It seemed so sinister and evil by the end of it. I'm going to spoil it. It came out 10 years ago. It seemed like it was about, in the trailer, something so sinister, like a true crime, and it turned out to just be a fucking social media catfishing story. I was like, wow, you got me. Like, they catfished the viewer. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They also directed Paranormal Activities 3 and 4. So, yeah, we did talk about that last week. More importantly, this movie is written by Mattson Tomlin. This is a guy we're probably going to talk about more because he also wrote the screenplay for Matt Reeves The Batman.
Oh, shit.
Along with Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin are writing the Batman screenplay. Also starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Dominique Fishback as Robin. She comes from HBO's The Deuce, kind of a newcomer. Rodrigo Santoro, Courtney B. Vance, Amy Landecker, Machine Gun Kelly, who I don't think they credited him as Machine Gun Kelly. I don't remember. I thought they used his real name. Tate Fletcher, Alan Maldonado, Andre Ward Hammond, Kiana Simone Simpson, a bunch of other people that you see in the movie. And this is Anthony. I'm gonna let you give us the plot of this story.
Excuse you,
but this is an original kind of story about superhero. It's not an adaptation. Wholly original.
Sure. Yeah, it's about this new drug called Power.
A little on the nose, but yes.
That you take for 5 minutes and it gives you powers, or it could kill you.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of evil people basically using New Orleans as a testing ground for this to eventually impress people with money to invest in this power. And against this is a female drug dealer who kind of gets involved in trying to take this syndicate down. An ex-soldier, played by Jamie Foxx, who has a lot of ties to this power. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a cop that's been working with the drug dealer, played by Dominique Fishback, a woman. And he's also kind of trying to protect his city and has some ties to this power as well.
Yeah, he's looking out for his city. Jamie Foxx is looking for his daughter, who is the formula. Ruggs, I'm going to start with you.
Wow, just spoil it right off the bat.
I already gave the spoiler alert.
Yeah,
We're going to see it, and we got to talk about it. That's what happens.
Right.
Ruggs, I feel like this is going to be a good, honest opening reaction. Why don't you start the discussion?
Well, I feel like it was competently directed. I liked some of the style of the shots and everything like that. There was some cool visuals and color grading and all that stuff. And the acting performances were good. So I think directorially, I think it was fine. I just think that it was. Let me give Netflix some advice.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Stop spending money on big names because you're wasting the money you need to have in the movie. Either you're going to spend $200 million on a movie or you're not. So don't waste the money on getting Jamie Foxx and all these guys to come in if that's you're fucking destroying the budget. Like, you had a good opening scene with Machine Gun Kelly and the firepower.
Yeah.
And that was the best like effect scene in the whole movie.
That's where a lot of the budget went, obviously.
And there was nothing else after that. So you blew your load getting people to watch the movie, and then there's no big payoff. Like, at the end of the movie, Jamie Foxx basically just like does a Kamehameha.
What?
From Dragon Ball.
Oh,
Gesundheit.
Yeah, and and that's it. It's just fucking
He's
a
like,
letdown.
thanks, I'm out. I mean, how much do you think they paid him? What, like $20 million from the 85?
It doesn't. Whatever they paid it was too much. Like they could have used at least another like $20 million in that movie to like give you a good closing scene. And another thing is that they don't really like use it to the best of its ability. They're using like kind of takes on familiar things that we've already seen.
Yes.
So we've seen a Human Torch.
Yeah.
We've seen a Wolverine guy with.
Well, we'll go over the powers.
Yeah. So it's just like,
Anthony, is this just another okay action movie from Netflix like we've been seeing all summer, or is this something more?
Yes.
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 Good answer.
Although Extraction gets put in here, Extraction is on the same level in terms of kind of a boring story with big names, but the action is another level.
Yeah.
The action is something to come out for. Project Power, I'll start off by saying I like this. I can definitely say I like this more than the Old Guard.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Okay.
But I liked it more than the Old Guard.
Okay.
That being said, it is the Netflix, as you just mentioned, formula.
Yeah.
It seems like, at least with their action movies or their action IPs, whatever they're investing in, where they throw a ton of money at big name actors. In this case, Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. They have an interesting concept, right?
Yes.
Power for 5 minutes, a drug,
just like the Old Guard. Yes.
Yeah, sort of interesting. Dull movie. They make just a completely dull movie. There's some interesting action takes. I liked the power with the fire, like Ruggs mentioned. The scene with the girl in the glass, and you could see like Jamie Foxx taking out the drug dealers. I thought there were some creative camera angles and things shot, but overall, I mean, it's the way I would describe it. I said it to my friends is it's not the worst way to spend 2 hours of your time, but you definitely don't need to go out of your way to see this. This is a movie you could throw on in the background while you're cleaning or something like that.
I was happy that it was out because it gave me something new to watch. But, when you're forced to critique it and give your opinion on it, so you telling other people what to expect or what you thought of it, post haste or whatever, you have to kind of point out the flaws, even though you might have had a good time watching it, and which I did. I was happy to see it, but I was like, okay, if Netflix really wants to be a player, they got to start doing things a little differently.
I'll agree with largely everything you guys said. I love the Netflix bit of it because all these movies, Old Guard, like I'll watch them twice before we review them. I love kind of having that option and that convenience. But yeah, I thought the pacing was pretty good. It keeps it moving. The cinematography, very energetic, very bright. You see these guys' style. I do love the color palettes where they're using the green and the gold. And really, it's the charisma of the top lead actors carries this whole movie. But boy, is it a wasted use of an amazing premise, right?
Oh, shit.
Holy shit. They could have done so many cool things with this idea of 5 minutes of power. I mean, just off the top of the bat, like I love the New Orleans setting, but they missed a huge thing where you're in a community that has been struck by Katrina. They're impoverished. They've lost their power. And now there's a pill that can give these people power. Like, what an amazing way to change your neighborhood that way. But it's just all surface. And maybe it would have worked better as a series. Like, it is a great popcorn flick, but it's a capable, fun popcorn flick that you just watch and you go on with your life. I wish they did more with the idea. The idea is so good. It could have done so many things.
Well, also, you guys both mentioned it. When it starts off and you see MGK as the fire guy, I'm like, wow, that's like
that CGI looks
first
great.
he's burnt up and then you see that the power has been affecting him and it looks great. Like it's a great little chase scene. He's it's great that Jamie Foxx takes him and puts him underwater. I'm like, oh wow, this is like they're figuring out a way to creatively make someone without power still be able to take this down. And then the rest of the movie, as you guys have both mentioned, they don't do a lot with the powers after that. There's not enough of power to be enthralled by what you're seeing. Tack on the fact that kind of like Old Guard, the whole premise is this like shadow organization looking to mine these people. And this one's even worse. Old Guard's really bad at it because the villain sucks. This one doesn't have anyone that you could rally around as the main villain.
The bad guy was dumb.
They wasted. I mean, it seems like to me, Netflix's whole thing is giving a bunch of money to some big names to play the leads, and then the rest of the movie is just like, we'll figure it out.
So there is a whole trend of movies and TV shows about people with powers and shadowy governments chasing them. We're going to see that again in the New Mutants. That's basically the plot of the New Mutants again. She's keeping their powers.
Well, it's the plot of The Boys.
It's also the plot of The Boys, which, you said, Ruggs, this thing reminded me a lot of Limitless, The Boys.
Limitless,
They kind of try to make it in a new way, but it's a lot of familiar stuff. But
let me real quick say, it's like a perfect 2000s movie where they were trying to make a superhero film without including big names.
Or using actual IP.
Big IP.
Yeah, without actual IP.
Like Chronicle or something,
Yes. So, but I did love that scene you were talking about. I thought the little details of as he's walking, the floor is scorched and on fire. And
great scene.
The fact that it doesn't kill him. This reminded me of like what a real like Human Torch would look like, or Molten Man from Spider-Man. This would have been Molten Man. Thermoregulation, one of the powers. I want to go through the powers, but there's some other highlights for me where Dominique Fishback as Robin was very good. I thought I loved her freestyle. I loved the rapping. I wish there was more of that. She had bars, and the music sometimes worked. Sometimes it was like the Old Guard that it took it out.
It's a little better.
It was less offensive than the Old Guard, but again, just like the Old Guard, it's like a great premise, and they wasted.
Well, she's a decent character. They definitely hint at like her being like, this is New Orleans and we've been taken down before and all this. But you're right. It's all very surface level.
It's all surface, and they could have dug into so many things.
And like her mom has diabetes and she's got to get her the soup.
It's a little.
I don't know. I mean, it's a little. It's like. It's the type of movie where they're kind of checking the boxes on what they think would be an intriguing film, but like the connective tissue just isn't there.
It's thin.
It's fine.
It's thin.
It's just it's okay.
It's formulaic and predictable, though, is kind of like another problem.
Yeah.
On paper, it's super formulaic.
Yeah.
Like if you write down what happens, it just like seems like they're in a boardroom and they're like, okay, what can we need to do? But in the actual watching of it, in the direction of it, there's actually some decent character stuff. There is some compelling element to it. So it's not like. So they did what they could with this kind of like boilerplate idea, and it's just a waste. Like I think they could have salvaged it if that ending, that last act was better.
Yeah,
this would be a pretty awesome movie.
Endings are hard, which we've said over and over again.
Well, just to make this a kind of maybe a foreshadowing of what's to come.
Yes,
because I think it seems like we're all in a kind of agreement that acting's okay. Directing is it's good. Yeah. Like there's some decent stuff. Yeah. Writing is not great. No, right?
Yes. So this is my question.
So this writer's writing the Batman.
Well, but he's not writing the Batman alone.
I know he's doing it with Matt Reeves. So, but just to throw that out.
At first, I was like, all right, Matt and Tomlin, let's see what you got. And I'm like, boy, I don't know.
Let me just walk that back a little bit.
Okay.
I think that producing is what killed this movie.
Okay.
Overproducing.
Yeah, because what happens is you get the line producer and the producer, and they start hacking away at the script saying, okay, we can't do that. That costs too much. You can't do this. This costs too much. And then it's up to the guy who writes the script to try and make something out of it. So I think if you're in a movie like the Matt Reeves Batman that has like, deep pockets.
Yeah.
And they're willing to spend the money to make shit happen. Because think about it, it's $83 million, just $85
million.
Batman's going to have like $200 million behind it, maybe, or something, 100 something.
Well, along those lines, this producer, Eric Newman, the first guy I clicked on, I think there's another producer on here. Brian, he didn't have a Wikipedia, but Eric Newman, the last couple movies he's produced fall right in line. Bright, which was on Netflix, which a lot of people did not like, with Will Smith.
Oh, yes. Right. That's another one of those.
The RoboCop reboot. So there you go.
What is
kind of similar movies in that they're like all
milk toast? Yeah,
yeah, just whatever. Like, that's decent action, but whatever.
I wonder what the budget of the Batman is. I'm having trouble finding it. I would think it's at least $100 million. I think
it's interesting though, like the Netflix stuff, because Netflix, it's easy to put them in a box with these movies that they've been coming out with, but then they'll release movies like. This Martin Scorsese film or the Five Bloods. So like they I don't think there's necessarily. It seems like there's a style for them when it comes to action.
But when there's for every one to Five Bloods, there's like a dozen of these movies.
Right. They like to churn out these action movies with big names.
So to me, compared to like the last two, so like you said, Extraction, thin story, no character.
Think about the Five Bloods. There's no big name actors in it.
No, big name director.
They just went with the big name director.
So Irishman, really, you get one Irishman, and then, but
then they'll put out something like Roma, which is got all the Oscar
Marriage
love.
Story got a lot of Oscar buzz,
right.
So that was good. But comparing these to me, Extraction, not as deep characters, action's way better. Old Guard, a lot of deep characters and substance. Action sucks. This one, the action's pretty good. The performances are great, but it's still surface. They don't really get too deep.
Well, I would say the action's good, but with the premise that they gave you,
it should have been way more.
It should be better.
Well, what do you guys think of Jamie Foxx and JGL in this? Okay, were they phoning it in? I thought Jamie was okay.
They're both collecting a paycheck.
They're both just doing.
I mean, I think they both did okay. They didn't do terrible. I've seen them much better in other roles, but like they still were okay. They were serviceable.
They're both charismatic actors, so you're going to get just having that star power on screen. You're going to have a little bit of an elevation, but yeah, I mean they're not doing anything that's too hard of them.
But they're
both at playing tough guys, right?
I mean their charisma really is it saves this movie. It makes the movie. Without that, this is just another. It's even more mediocre. Which right now it's maybe a little bit above mediocre. It's right there. Let's talk about some of the powers. I thought some of this was interesting. Again, stuff that was totally wasted. Let's just start with Jamie Foxx and Pistol Shrimp. Is that? I forgot to look up. Is that real?
That's a real thing. It's
That's
a
what
shrimp.
happens.
I mean, they exaggerate it, but it's like they make it into this big deal. The shrimp can snap its fucking finger really fast.
Well, the thing about that is they try to tie the powers to animals.
Yeah, which is like from
and I was like,
Spider-Man.
what animal can light himself on fire?
That's a good question.
I was like, what are we doing?
That's called thermo.
Well, we're overthinking
so
this.
they put that they wrote that in as thermoregulation. So any animal that changes its body temperature, they call
like reptiles.
Yeah, reptiles thermoregulation. I also thought it was interesting that you get the same power every time you use the pill. Like your power is set in you. And this pill unlocks it. I wasn't expecting that. That was weird. But also, they get super convenient powers. They get the power they need at the time, which I thought was fucking bullshit. Here's another funny thing. The 5-minute time limit. Oh, everybody's wearing fucking digital stopwatches now all of a sudden?
Shit.
Are these back in style? The fucking Casio 5-minute stopwatch?
Maybe they're Apple Watches.
No, they were not Apple Watches. They were like the digital Casio.
I don't know.
Fucking Anyway, so you had Molten Man, you had Pistol Shrimp, you had Frost Girl, you had Bulletproof Skin with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Did you have the camouflage guy?
Yes, you had Chameleon camouflage in kind of invisibility that they said came from an octopus. I thought that scene looked kind of good too. The CGI wasn't bad. He did kind of disappear. It was a really great illusion.
It's weird though. You have like JGL, whose power is he's bulletproof.
Like a rhino or something? I don't know. What is
but
that?
Then
armadillo?
You don't showcase him just getting blasted by machine guns.
No, you see his face ripple and then he still gets knocked out, but he's not dead. That was cool looking. That's where some more of their budget money went. You have the bone knives like Wolverine, self-generating weapons. Come from a frog, I guess, that detaches its bones.
What about the guy that grows into?
Then you have that was the
Mr.
main
Hyde
biggie, the supersized Hulk out power, which that CGI was probably the worst. It's a little,
and they didn't really do much with it.
No, he's there for 2 seconds.
That was the worst, and they had that was a scene where you were like, oh, here's a big action set piece.
Yeah, no, and he just barely see it. And then you had that fun scene with that contortionist who was stretchy powers in the hallway. And they hired an actual contortionist. So some of that was actually him just bending himself like that. But then obviously when he was choking him and it was all rubbery, that was fake. But a lot of that was that dude. I've seen these dudes in America's Got Talent. You ever seen these contortionist dancers?
Yeah.
It's fucking creepy as fuck. I don't like
Those
it.
Those guys put themselves in a box and shit.
Yeah, you should not be able to bend that way. What is going on?
I think the whole promise of the premise at this point was you were expecting to see by the third act
a bunch
big
of powers.
power set piece.
And they
and you never got that.
Everybody took the pill. It was funny that one guy took the pill, immediately fucking explodes.
Oh, shit.
I thought that was hilarious, but they kind of wasted this whole thing. I also think they skipped over the best part because in the beginning they show you they're selling this drug, and then it goes 6 weeks later. Again, the best part is people figuring out what their powers are for the first time. Why do you always skip the discovery? Everyone already knew what their power was by when the story starts, so it's kind of boring. I don't know. Also, JGL as a cop, he's okay from buying from a teenage drug dealer. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nah, I guess it's what you got to do,
It's
man,
New
to
Orleans.
survive.
It's
a level
New
the playing
Orleans.
field somehow, right?
I gotta the clothing. Just giving him a football jersey the entire time.
Oh, so you know that he's a New Orleans Saints fan. You have to know. Yes.
Oh.
He's fighting for his city. He said that several times. This is my city. They're not going to get away with this.
I just love that he's in a Saints jersey the entire time.
Yeah. They're not a very good team, are they?
No, they're good.
Oh,
it's just this is a cop. He's wearing a football shirt. What's going on here?
Undercover? I don't know. And he's got
in
a
New
badge.
Orleans, you can kind of do whatever you want.
I guess you can.
You know what else? This made me think about how weird it was that I was in New Orleans this year, at the beginning of this year. That seems like a fucking lifetime ago. I was there in January.
NOLA.
And I love New Orleans. I love seeing anything in New Orleans now.
It was a little jarring hearing people scream the NOPD.
Yeah.
You never hear that in movies.
Yeah, right. New Orleans PD. NOPD coming in.
LAPD, NYPD.
Right, NYPD.
We never hear NOPD.
And then Chicago is just CPD. There's not enough letters. It's not as fun saying.
Well, if you film the movie here, you get shot.
You don't want to say that. But I do think I guess they're going to make another one. They should probably,
Really?
I don't know. Did it seem like it was setting itself up for a sequel? I don't know.
I guess.
It should have been like a series.
What
It should
happened
have
at the end again?
They blew up the ship.
He pistol shrimps everyone, and then they get away, and then Jamie Foxx and his daughter Tracy take off, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Robin are working together. I don't know. Is Power
She was
still
wearing
around?
the Robin colors, by the way.
Oh, she was. Oh, I didn't notice.
She's wearing that yellow and green and
I
red.
did not
all in one.
notice that. What was the other thing? I think that was everything I liked about this movie.
Casey Neistat was in it.
Oh, yes, YouTuber Casey Neistat.
Shit.
What is he doing in this? I thought that was funny.
I don't know.
He
who
knows
it is.
those guys. Those are his friends, the guys that directed the movie.
Oh, okay. You don't know Casey Neistat? He's a big Instagram YouTuber, entrepreneur dude, one of these guys, skateboarder.
He was like the guy who made vlogging fucking legit.
Yeah, he started.
And then everybody started doing the same thing, and then
He's got a big empire now, worth a lot of money.
Then he got bought by CNN.
Yeah,
and then he made a bunch of money, and he moved out of New York into LA.
Yes. Now he's in this movie. All right, look, let's rate this. Give me a number and maybe rank it along with Extraction and The Old Guard, I guess. That's fair. I don't know. Anthony.
Rank it?
Sure.
First I'll give it a number. I was struggling with this. I was thinking 5.5, but I'm going to go 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a higher rating than the general public would give it, but for some reason I was still somewhat entertained.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
As far as where does it rank?
Yeah.
Between the 3 that we've reviewed, I mean, it's right in the middle. Extraction's number 1 because the action is just killer. It's weak plot, but super killer action.
Yeah.
Real standout. This movie is okay, and then I just didn't like Old Guard all that much.
Okay.
So
okay, fair enough. Ruggs, what about you?
I think Extraction. I'm gonna rate the Extraction as the top one. I'm going to put Old Guard second, and then I'll put this at the bottom. I'm gonna put this as a 6. So tied with Anthony. I think I gave Old Guard a 6.5 or something like that.
I don't even remember.
So I'm gonna go 6 because it's got a lot of things going for it, but I feel like the Old Guard's more interesting.
Yeah,
like it is. Like I love Highlander, and that's what it is. And if the idea of Old Guard in the right director's hands could be fucking amazing. I feel like unless they're gonna put huge amounts of money into this franchise, which they're probably not.
Yeah.
We're not going to get anything like worth talking about. But I think with Old Guard, the concept of them being immortal and them having history and this ancient kind of thing could be a great lore. So, and then Extraction, just the level of action is it's just fun to watch. No matter what, they could do nothing with the script and nothing with the acting. You're still going to watch all these great choreographed action scenes like John Wick. So
that's because the director sat on a car with the camera himself. I'm agreeing with Ruggs, actually. I'll put Extraction on the top, and then the Old Guard, and then this movie. And I'm going to give it a 6, too. I was struggling with this. But for that reason, Ruggs, I think the Old Guard, they used their potential of their premise better and a little bit more than this was thin.
Like, which movie do you want to see a sequel to the most?
So I feel like the Old Guard has a much better potential for a sequel, a lot more interesting things going on there, and they've set it up well.
That last scene where you see the girl who's been underwater this whole time.
She comes back, and, Greg Rucka has a plan, and he's written the second book of this, so I think I would rather see an Old Guard sequel before Project Power sequel.
I just think they need a better director.
Yes.
That's more of an action director.
Yes.
That knows how to kind of make things more dramatic on Old Guard. Something a little more stylish.
Yeah.
But Extraction's got the director down pat. Whoever's he's got to direct the next.
That was the guy who was he worked on the John Wicks, right? Wasn't it? I don't remember.
Is it?
He was like he was the fight choreographer for the Russos.
Oh, the Russo brothers guy. Right. That's why Chris Hemsworth is in the produce because Hemsworth is in there.
Yeah.
So also, you have that pedigree. You got the Russos. They have the talent that's proven. So they got that going. We'll see more of that.
Dude, that's the thing. Extraction was the one that I did not expect.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, this looks like a piece of shit.
I agree.
But the Old Guard and this both got hyped up.
Yeah, as these went on, I got more and more disappointed after they came out. So
yeah, I'm with Ruggs on that. I literally was sitting at home. This was in the midst of my extreme binge movie phase.
Yeah.
And I think we even talked about Extraction. I was like, no, I'm not going to watch it. And I just saw the trailer on Netflix. And I was like, fuck it, I got nothing better to do. And I was super surprised, especially with the car chase stuff.
The generic name, and you're like, it had Hemsworth. And then when I found out it was produced by the Russos, I was like, all right.
I think I want to watch it again almost.
I might watch it again. It's been a while. Speaking of watching...
these movies, are these movies like... I'm asking your guys' both opinion. Are these movies like a throwback to like the 80s, 90s in terms of just throwing big names in action movies that aren't that great?
It seems to be a little throwbacky.
Yeah, but I think that... they're not having fun.
No, there's more problems here.
You're right.
And it is the middle range budget of Netflix trying to figure out what to do.
It's kind of like they're not taking huge risks. They're not knocking them out of the park. They're not swinging for the fences. They're kind of like, they're bunting.
They're safe. They're mediocre.
Yeah, they're definitely not having Roadhouse fun. That's for sure.
They're not
having fun. You know what, though, guys?
That's a good point.
Hold that thought for a second. It's going to come back in the news from the nation because I do have some good talking points.
That is a very good point. I remember watching those 80s films and going, this is wacky.
But they're having
crazy.
a good time.
Like you always have a thing that you could come out of a movie like and go, oh, did you see that? That was fucking crazy.
These movies don't have a thing.
No, they don't have a thing.
Except for Extraction, baby. All right, speaking of what are we watching, let's go into what are we watching real quick. Netflix's Umbrella Academy Season 2. I have seen all of it. Rugboy has seen all of it. Anthony.
Yes?
How many have you watched?
I'm halfway through.
Let me tell you about Tony, all right? Tony ruins lives.
I am enjoying it.
Okay. What are the odds you will be done by this time next week?
Let's go 50%.
Oh, it got a little higher. Okay, I'll take that. We'll keep it fluid. You never know what's going to happen, listener. So
I'll by next Tuesday, we'll know.
Okay, I need to know because I need to start watching it over again. I'll tell you that much.
Let's just plan to have it watched and have it by then.
Okay, we're gonna soft. It's a soft confirm.
Soft plan for next week. No promises.
Have you watched anything else? You've been busy doing that.
That is all I've been watching. Other than this, I've been watching this and then whatever movie we're reviewing. So,
Ruggs, have you watched anything interesting this week?
Well, I watched some of what is that fucking thing I watched? Ultraman Z.
Oh boy, yes.
Which is on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's just like the newest Ultraman. I just kind of watch bits and pieces of it and kind of whatever, and it's fine. You could find it on the YouTubes if you like Ultraman. It's there.
It's animated?
No, it's like the actual kaiju show.
Guy in suit.
It's like watching the Power Rangers, but there's a little bit. I mean, everything's so low budget, but like it's still kind of weird to watch. It's fun, but
it's a new production.
You've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they're all the same.
Yeah.
But I do check in and watch it every once in a while. So I watched that. I watched Harley Quinn cartoon because you told me it was going to be good and get better, and it's not.
Keep watching it. You got to stick with it.
I'm going to stick with it.
Stick with
and
it.
Not funny.
It is funny.
The thing that I did that I actually was very happy that I started to do was I started to rewatch Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is out on Netflix, and I'm like, I could finally watch them all because I watched them when they were out on Nickelodeon or wherever the fuck they were out on. And I watched, I missed a bunch of episodes. So I was always trying to piece it together when I was watching it. So that I could watch it all in one sitting.
Would you recommend that? I keep hearing and I feel it.
It's great.
Yeah, I heard
it's
really
definitely good. Don't. The M. Night Shyamalan movie is so bad.
Well, yes.
You can't go by that.
Yes.
It's one of these things that the hero grows, everybody grows along the way. And it's kind of like this very fun, lighthearted, but at times serious story of a guy who's the chosen one, basically. That he's the one that has to he's Neo. He has to be the one. And it's epic. It's a long fucking thing. And The Legend of Korra is okay. I watched all of that.
That one I saw this new. Did you hear about what happened with the adaptation of Avatar? The creators of Avatar, the cartoon, working for Netflix. We're going to do a live action adaptation. Just last week, I think they walked away from the project, citing creative differences.
Yeah, they probably were fucking stiffing them on the money to pay for a name actor, and then they had to cut all the scenes that they wanted to.
Yeah, pretty much is what it sounded like. Is they were like, look, we love to collaborate, but there's it's only so far. You change shit.
Like Filoni was involved, big time.
So
with all of the Avatar stuff in the beginning,
that project is falling apart now. So yeah. I checked out a new HBO show. It's on HBO Max and HBO, Lovecraft Country.
It's only one episode out.
Episode out. This is from J.J. Abrams and Jordan Peele. It takes place in the racist 50s South Jim Crow era, and it follows a black couple as they search through this map. It's all based on the Lovecraft book. The first episode is actually free on YouTube. And you know what? Wow.
Oh, shit.
This was really good because the whole episode is them dealing with racist monsters in the South in the 50s. And then at the end of the episode, there's actual fucking monsters.
Oh, shit.
And it's amazing. It was a great first episode. I'm hooked. This thing looks very ambitious. Apparently there's going to be time traveling and crazy Lovecraftian monsters and things. A lot of fun.
It sounds good. It sounds a little heavy. I mean,
I would check out the first episode.
I just watched Umbrella Academy that had the same idea. And then Watchmen had a similar thing. And it's like everything's exploring. Like I want to escape from this stuff at some point.
So, I mean, they're using the Lovecraft monsters. They kind of exist in this world, but it also stars Journey Smollett, who was Black Canary in Birds of Prey. She's one of the leads, Jonathan Majors, and Courtney B. Vance, who is in Project Power, also in this. Michael Kenneth Williams will be in this. Oh, he is in this. I would recommend it's HBO. It looks great. Watch the first episode. I guarantee you're going to be hooked if you love Lovecraftian things. Like I know Mike.
I do, but I mean, like
I know Mike Rips loves that shit. Cthulhu and Lovecraft.
does. Of course he does. It's classic shit.
Rugs, I think you would like this.
I'm going to watch it because I know it's going to be good.
I think you would like it.
But I'm just kind of like, I'm like, this is like the fourth show in a row that I've watched that have the similar themes.
This one's good. I think you watch that first one and you're going to like it. Unlike the Harlequin cartoon show, you may like this one. Well, more. Let's do news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I don't even need to. I should need to just press Anthony's nipples so he says the word.
I'm pumped.
That's
yeah, me too.
Me too.
Yeah, see, I don't need the soundboard. I just need to send you. Say this. Human soundboard.
Yeah, just message me.
Yes.
Say this.
Here's the list of
do the you and Bilotti. Oh yeah. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's really good.
You can
just like it.
You could do, and the thing is, you could do all the voices on the soundboard. You do me well, you do Ruggs well, you do Bilotti.
You're tough. I don't know if I do you all that well.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Geek Boner.
You can do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
Dave.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
This is going great.
David Zika checking in. He posted a link to this new Netflix show called Teenage Bounty Hunters.
Oh, shit.
All right, that's a great title. He says this is fun for some light comedy. Definitely leans into the teen life part, kind of a Buffy meets Clueless vibe. A bit slow at times, but then something hilarious happens. Method Man plays a bounty hunter who also bakes and likes bubble baths with his rubber ducky. The actors are fully into their weird characters. Kadeem Hardison co-starring from what was that show?
A Different World.
A Different World. Dwayne Wayne, he's a little rounder now and grayer, but I sort of accidentally binged this whole show.
Oh,
I got
Jesus Christ.
I sucked
How
it
do
in.
you have all this time?
Well, look, the wife and I, we were flipping through Netflix and it said Teenage Bounty Hunters. I'm like, you know what? Press play on that. Let's at least watch the first one. How am I going to go past something that says Teenage Bounty Hunters? And it's a really fun, clever, smart show. It takes place also in Georgia now, and the two lead girls are like progressive Baptist religious girls in this Christian school, and they stumble into the bounty hunting profession because they meet Kadeem Hardison from A Different World, and Method Man is like this famous bounty hunter on YouTube called Terrence. But they're like talking about they're wrestling with the premarital sex, and they use Bible verses to make their point. And it's really clever the way they tied in so many things, keeping it in like the Baptist South and keeping the girls like religious faith integrity, but they're bounty hunters. And there's a great twist, great arc in the whole thing. I really enjoyed it.
What'd you say?
Moving on. Ruggs, have you seen this Teenage Bounty Hunters?
No, how
good.
good is it?
It's good.
Is it good? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it?
I'll give it like a 7. I didn't.
So an Imran 7 is really like a 4.
I'll give it an 8. So let me tell you this: I did not continue watching Warrior Nun. That didn't hook me, but this show.
And I told you it sucked.
This show hooked me, and I was like, well, now I have to watch this. So
I watched the whole thing because there was nothing else to watch.
It's probably better than Warrior Nun. It's clever. I was really surprised at how smart the show was.
How many episodes?
10 episodes.
I'll give it 1 episode, and if it's bad, then I'm going to kill you.
Part of it is I just let it. Okay, it's fine.
Oh, shit.
Fuck that show.
Yes. You can come back with one of those. All right.
Remember back in the day you used to say that to people?
Yeah, I will kill
I'm going to kill. Now you can't. Now you can't do
I used to throw that around in high school.
Really?
Just for I would be like, "What'd you say? I'm gonna fucking kill you!" Like just to like fuck around with people.
Murder you. Yeah.
But and like most people would be like laugh.
Yeah.
I had one girl like report me. That was really bad. Yeah.
He threatened me. No, you can't even joke.
He's joking and saying he's gonna kill me.
If someone was like anywhere in the vicinity of shorter than me, I would threaten to kill them all the time. Like, if they just annoyed me.
Or you just say it with a laugh. Give me your pudding, or I'm gonna kill you. And then
you stab him with a toothbrush.
You actually had to say, "Dude, I'll kill you."
Dude, I will kill you. You can't even say it like that. Dude, don't you take that last pizza, I will kill you.
If you put dude in front of something, like it automatically takes the edge off.
Got it. I'll remember that. I call everyone dude. Dudes.
Dude, I'll fuck your mom.
Oh shit. Yes.
If you don't fucking chill out, I'm gonna go fuck your mother.
For all the mom jokes, that's not what your mother said last night, Trebek. You would just have mom jokes for days. You can't do that. It's disrespectful.
This is the shit that you used to say with like back in the early 90s, late 80s. You could just say whatever you wanted.
Yeah, the golden days. Chaz Hebert has a good question, and this ties in to our conversation about Netflix and the future of movies and the state of these movies. Chad says with Mulan going to Disney Plus for a premium fee, people are obviously worried for the future of movie theaters. But is anyone else worried that streaming services will start throwing a premium charge for a lot more movies now?
Oh, shit.
I could see big budget movies like The Old Guard no longer being free in the future.
What?
Man, would you? I would not pay for like a Project Power or The Old Guard.
So right off the bat, that's a very good point, and I think that might happen.
Oh no! Oh shit! Once the Mulan goes crazy and they make fucking tons of money,
I think that's the new wave. Is they'll put their big budget movies out, and you'll have to pay a premium to get it right away, and then they'll delay it for a few months, after, and then put it out for free on their platform.
So the Disney Plus thing, they're calling it Premier Access, meaning you just get access to it before it gets released to everyone else who has a subscription. And I think you're right. I think there are hints that Disney may be putting more big budget movies on streaming, but the issue is the budget. Like you have the Old Guard, Extraction, Project Power. You're talking $80-90 million movies.
If they're gonna go that route, they should just do the Peacock method, where they do it like the cock, and just some of these things are free. And
then you have another.
Like if you're gonna make people to pay stuff, something should be free. Then
that's all. And then what? Put ads in there. So yeah, Peacock has the premium.
Because they're already
level.
getting like a subscription fee.
Yeah.
Right? So like Disney Plus, they're already getting a subscription fee, and then they're putting out movies that are supposed to be in the theaters because of COVID. Now, if this changes the business model, I don't know if all of they're talking about a lot of these movies coming out that you're going to pay all this extra money for it. That's weird.
Should it be prorated based on the budget of the movie? Like, a $200 million movie is a lot different than an $85 million movie.
Well, I don't know, because that if they stop making like original movies for Netflix, then you have to pay extra for them. Like
maybe The Irishman could have pulled that off.
I think that Netflix wants to graduate to that, but if they don't make real good movies.
Yes.
That's worth the price of admission that no one's going to pay.
Okay, so this is where, watching these movies, this is where I had a couple of...
I wouldn't pay for Old Guard. I wouldn't pay for any of these.
No, I would not pay for
Extraction, and I liked Extraction.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't pay for it.
I would not pay for Extraction or Project Power, but...
I wouldn't pay in addition to paying your subscription, right?
They need a legitimate franchise that has got cachet, that has financing behind it, and has top production. If you're going to squeeze any money out of me to go see that shit in my house.
Well, that's the thing. Do they need to have a bigger
Disney
budget?
has that.
Yes.
HBO has that. HBO is Warner Brothers. It's just under that guise of HBO.
Yeah.
Disney is fucking, huge. Owns everything now. They have Star Wars. They have all the IP.
So that point is perfect, because this is what I wanted to ask you guys. Watching all these Netflix movies, I feel like our audience is now getting used to mediocre content because of these Netflix action movies. Is that going to be a problem in the future where they're not even going to try to make better movies? What do you think, Anthony? You think we're getting used to mediocre shit? They're getting us used to it?
Netflix? Is that their goal?
Well, just streaming in general. All these streaming things that come out that, are part of your subscription.
As far as Netflix, I hinted at this or brought this up before. They have a wide range of different stuff. It seems like for the perception amongst my friends that watch a lot of TV is that Netflix does a pretty decent job with their TV series. The movies they haven't necessarily figured out as well.
That's a good point. That's right. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm just curious, when they invest all this money in these movies, I'm wondering, are they trying to gain more subscriptions, or are they just trying to keep the amount of people they have? Obviously, you want to grow, but like, what's the thought process behind a Project Power getting $80 million? Like, what value does that add to Netflix?
I would think it's more new subscribers constantly.
I don't know if anyone's subscribing and going like I can't think
because
of people
Jamie
going.
Foxx
I'm gonna finally subscribe to Netflix because Project Power.
Because there's a Jamie Foxx movie.
Well,
I think it's more like to just keep people from not leaving.
Yes, I agree with that because this is what's happening. All of these apps are coming out, and there's more coming. At a certain point, you're going to be like, all right, I don't need this app. This app is useless to me. I'm going to get rid of it. I never fucking watch it. And I'm starting to see that now, actually. Now that I have everything, I have Hulu, have Amazon Prime, have this, have that. There's a lot of crossover. A lot of the shit that's on Hulu is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
A lot of the same shit is on a lot of stuff. Like, you could find some, like, then there's movies you can't find on anything. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Where the fuck are those movies? When are we going to get those?
Yeah.
But, a lot of this stuff is like, you're redundant in having all of these things. So people are going to start cutting shit. And what's going to be the thing that's going to keep you on one platform, if you know you're going to get the same shit on another platform, is original content that is proprietary to only that label. And they need to start generating their own IP. They need that. Netflix needs it. It does it with Stranger Things and it shows. But with these movies, I feel like they're just spending their money wrong. And they're just putting all the money into names, and none of that money is going into the film.
Yeah. So
they have to like spend a little bit more, and spend it better IP, and maybe if they're going to go move to starting to charge for these movies, it better be for a good reason, because I don't think anyone's going to pay for something that's not legit.
I think people are getting used to mediocrity, because remember when the old guard came out, it had these fucking glowing reviews, and I'm like, this is a little much for this movie. I didn't think it was all that, and I just think people are getting, there's nothing else out. They're getting used to this. The old guard
also had all of the political.
It had the buzzword. It had the buzzwords behind it. Yes,
it had the relationship with the two guys. It had a female heroine. It had
first black female director.
The female
action movie
director, the female antagonist at the end. That's going to be the sequel.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has a lot of that going for it. So when people review it, they usually pull their punches a little bit, because they think, oh, this is good for society, so we're not going to shit on it. Instead of going, it was kind of lame. So so you got to be wary of reviewers. There's a political aspect to it. So that's what I'll say about that.
I mean, so that's my next point, is you were talking about how if they're going to do this, big budget, big studios like Disney, HBO, they got to bring cachet. Those studios have a level of quality, right? Their standards. This is what we see in the Marvel movies and Disney movies. It's clearly different than what you get from Netflix movies. However, now, with production slowly starting in COVID a world of ours, there's going to be a COVID advisor. There's going to be, you can forget about shooting on location. You can forget about group scenes. You can forget about any sex scenes. My question is, will Disney and these big companies be able to keep up their level of quality given all these restrictions? We're going to be seeing a lot of weird things, a lot of weird productions. And if that level of quality goes down, then that's also getting us used to mediocrity already.
I think it's too soon to speculate on that. I also would say what you're saying about these groups and all that, I don't think that's true. If you look at just NBA, NHL, they've created these bubbles.
Yes.
You could easily do that for a movie set and just have the crew, the actors, everyone just living in like hotels or rent out a bunch of houses right by where you need to film.
Yeah.
Put them in a bubble, test them every other day. You can do a lot of stuff.
You need bubbles and pods. In fact, Tyler Perry has like a barracks, apparently, that like everyone just lives there and it's closed off.
I don't think movie quality is gonna.
You don't think it's gonna suffer?
I don't know. It's too certain, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
Now. They got blue screens.
I feel like Mandalorian kind of figured out something amazing with that room. That's all screens. They don't need to shoot on location. That can be a closed bubble set, and your location just pops up on the screen. You just load it up.
I mean, we're going to lose a little bit of the reality of things. You're going to be using a lot more CG effects to fill in a lot of these places.
I feel there'll be a lot of like forced perspective
CG
to make
crowds,
people. Yes, CG crowds, forced perspective to make people look closer than they are, camera angle wise. So here was another question I had: when people start writing new content, do you think all new fictional contemporary content is gonna have to deal with COVID and the pandemic and quarantine, and police brutality? I mean, I know. The Law and Orders and the Brooklyn Nine-Nines had kind of ripped up their scripts after the whole George Floyd incident. But more importantly, is everything that is fictional in the real world now, will you have to write in coronavirus? Or can you still continue to pretend in a fictional world that this didn't happen? You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I think you're going to acknowledge it in some way, right?
Yeah, I mean, any movies that come out during a significant point in history,
they deal with it.
Or most movies in general reflect the time that they came out, right? Mm-hmm. Or reflect if it's part of history, like for instance, the Umbrella Academy. If you're going to go back to the 60s, well, you're going to acknowledge the Kennedy shooting.
Yeah.
If you're going to film a period piece when in 20 years during 2020, you're going to acknowledge that there was a coronavirus. Yeah, that seems like a pretty obvious answer to that question.
So it's going to be in everything. That's so strange because think about it. Science fiction moving forward could be in a land where this never happened. This is now science fiction, and you're just showing normal things. It's going to be crazy. Will it be it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be weird. I think it's going to be. I
mean, look, it's going to change the way this next generation grows up. They're going to be, remembering a time, how long this time is going to last, where social activity and all that stuff stopped, and then all of a sudden, post that, all these precautions that you take, and that you don't think about just going out and doing things unless you're in college right now and you don't give a fuck because you're too busy about getting laid. But
partying, they're partying.
Your focus is your dick is going to be way more powerful than your brain at this point, at that age.
I mean, long ramifications of this.
I mean, it's the debate of does life imitate art?
Yes,
does art imitate life?
Exactly, but I would imagine you want some things where you don't have to constantly be reminded. Yeah, we're living in this fucking crazy situation.
You act like we're going to get when 9/11 happened. Do we have every movie have a 9/11 theme?
But every bad guy was a fucking Arab terrorist but still. So that changed that. It'll be like that, I guess. But that is,
I mean, it'll be, but it's significant in history.
But it is. I'm saying, but different than 9/11. This is a lot more changes, more things, more daily life things, a lot more coverage, a lot more comprehensive.
So you're answering your own question.
Yeah, I guess you have to.
If more is changing because of this is more significant.
I guess you have to constantly. It's just weird. It's different. Everything's changed.
I mean, you'll get a variety. I mean, you'll still get other things.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be funny to see. I don't know if it'd be funny, but I mean, all of a sudden,
might be funny.
They're going to make a Black Plague movie.
Yeah,
and that's going to mirror what's happening in our lives.
I could see Key and Peele doing that. Yeah,
yeah, somehow relate it to what we're doing. So even if you're watching a period piece, you're still a tie to what's going on.
And really,
now.
all you have to do if you want to write something and don't want to deal with this shit, just set it in 2019. How many things in the future are going to be just set in 2019?
There's a video game that's based on the Black Plague that just came out a few years ago.
Anyways, stuff to think about.
I like that you're just the sky is falling. Every movie is going to be about social injustice or coronavirus.
Sometimes it feels like that, though. It's never.
There's nothing. It hasn't even happened. They haven't happened yet.
Yes, I'm looking ahead. It's gonna happen.
I do think that this is something that every corporate environment is going to have to incorporate. Right? They're going to have to sit there and they're going to reevaluate how they're going to do things. What they're going to put forward. How to represent themselves, and I think that they're all going to acknowledge what's going on.
All fiction will have to acknowledge it.
Well, yeah, all these corporate places are going to try to figure out what's the right side of history to be on, and they're all going to evaluate this stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's going to seep into everything. So,
that's crazy.
It's natural.
It's natural. Listen, just don't get used to mediocre movies, listener. That's all I'm saying. We have a level of standard.
I want animation. That's there should be shitloads of animation.
There should be. I'm expecting a boom any day now.
To that point, real quick about the getting used to
mediocrity.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Rotten Tomatoes. You look at the fan scores. I look at Letterboxd a lot. Nothing out of those three aggregates are going and saying Project Power, what a fucking amazing movie. Like they're all in pretty much acknowledgement that this is a 5 or a 6. So
people see it.
To your point of like, are we accepting this? No, I don't see anyone going, yeah, this was great, man. We should get more movies like this. This is like everyone's pretty much in agreement. Okay. This is what it is. It's just average movie.
All right, I'll calm down.
Calm down.
It's fine.
You'll be fine.
I'll make it through, guys.
Just get some
vitamin D.
Yeah, I need vitamin D. I got to breathe. I'm going to do some yoga. I'm going to feel great.
The sky. You could sound the alarms about the sky falling for many things.
Sometimes
these are the things you don't need to sound the alarm for.
We're in good hands. Anthony told me. So
I fucking loved it.
I love everything.
I think Art will be fine.
Okay. I love art. I don't want it to suffer, and I don't want us to settle for less. That's all. But just put out Black Widow on Disney+.
I think that the art is more in danger of just stupid people than what's going on.
True that. Okay. That's the whole show. I got one announcement at the end of the show. I made a guest appearance on another podcast again, everyone.
Oh, shit.
It was a video game podcast called Patient Players. Daniel, one of the hosts, needed a last-minute guest. He posted in the Underdog podcast community group page, and I was like, I'll help out. These guys, they've been going for a year and trying to stay consistent, and I get it. I'm always willing to help, so I will put a link in the show notes. It was a lot of fun. You can laugh along at my level of video game knowledge, but he loves Spider-Man too, so right away, it was fine. Speaking of video games, I noticed there just today, I think the other day, there's a new docuseries on Netflix called High Score, but the evolution of video games. Looks very good. Dying to watch it. I love the Netflix docuseries. So check that one out. Ruggs, I think you should check that one out.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. And there's also a Banksy documentary.
Not the Exit Through the Gift Store?
No, it says 2020.
Oh, a new Banksy documentary.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might be on Amazon. I'm not sure.
I'll have to check that out. I love the Banksy.
Check.
Cenk Uygur?
Oh, Cenk Uygur. From what are they called?
The Young Turks.
The Young Turks. He's not young or Turkish. I don't know why.
No, he's neither.
He's lying. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
Oh, you can find me online at Twitter. Really Rug Boy. Bye.
At Really Rug Boy. Make sure you follow him. Show notes for this episode.
I'll kill you.
He's just joking. Put your tweets away, everyone. Show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/342, where you'll find links to everything we talked about, how to buy a mask, how to support the show, everything I mentioned. And then lastly, listener, of course, tell a friend, get the word out of the Jock and Nerd podcast, turn on your friend, have them turn someone on. 6 degrees of Jock and Nerd is what I'm going for. Everybody's connected to everyone. Yeah? What do you think? Good?
Yes. Spread the geekery.
Spread the geekery. Be good to one another. And thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the
We'll
nerd.
peep you next time.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. Bro, do you even podcast? It stinks.
That's a big fuck up right there.
It stinks.